Hello, and thank you for joining. My name is Misty Corns. Today, I will walk you through how to add time off onto an employee's timesheet using the new Family First Coronavirus Response Act time off codes. This recording will be most beneficial to companies and company administrators or managers who are using time and attendance and the Accruals module, as well as companies that have less than 500 employees. For this presentation, I will be using the new user interface, but the entry process will be very similar in the classic UI and the new UI. There are a few ways to add time off codes onto a timesheet. Number one, you can approve a submitted request made by an employee. There are previous recorded videos for employees on how to do this. Number two, manually add the time to each employee's timesheet. These two are the ones we're going to focus on today. A couple other options as far as entering the time are to mass add time using the mass add time entry feature. Also, number four would be to import the hours. These two options are available. Please do contact your CSR if you think that this would make it easier for yourself. We're going to start off logged in as a manager. This manager is going to go to My To-Do in order to approve the time off request. So we're going to click on the bell item. In the top left-hand corner, you'll see that I've already have some time off requested by Michael for the COVID self-care. So from here, as you can tell, I'm clicked on this time off request. I could come to the right-hand side of the screen here and view time off counts. So I could come in and take a look at what his balances are for all of this, this new paid sick leave. Beyond Pay has configured these accruals as well as the time off settings for you. I could also open the timesheet and view that information. Okay. So what we want to do is just go ahead and approve all of these requests at one time. So once I approve this, I'm going to get some pop-ups. These are completely normal and based on your configuration. So we're going to go ahead and approve these. Okay, so that is how you can approve time off requests using the time off codes for the COVID-19 time off codes. So let's go back to our home screen here. The second way that you can enter time off onto a timesheet is simply going to the hamburger menu. Go to, make sure that you're on the double person icon. Go to Time, Timesheets, Manage Timesheets, and All Timesheets. So this is a report. I do have some charts that I've added to this particular report to give me some insight into what's happening within these codes that I'm entering for my employees. For this purpose, we're going to use the report to navigate. So I know I have 3 departments that are affected by the COVID-19. And I need to key in hours for these three departments. So the first department is security, and then I have Stanford, and then I have UTSA. So we're going to go ahead and just select those departments. Notice it's automatically checking the employees that are within those departments. So now I'm going to come to the view option, and I want to view those 3 timesheets, or if there's more employees assigned to those departments, it would be more timesheets. As you can tell, I'm showing 1 of 3. Okay, it also brought me to the employee's timesheet. So from here, what I want to do is actually add the time manually on the timesheet. So one of the first things I want to do is click on the magnifying glass over the paper icon. And remember, this is the code for self-care that we're going to be focusing on. However, you can tell we've got some additional options here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and select self-care. It's very important that you select the correct reason here, because these codes are tied to very specific pay rates that follow the law. Again, these time offs beyond pay is setting up for you. You don't have to set these up. You simply just would need to key the time on to the timesheet. So for this example, we're going to go ahead and enter self-care. And I want to pay my employee 8 hours. That's their typical workday. So I'm just simply going to enter the 8 hours. Now we're going to do this for a period of time. So I'm going to go ahead and just enter some time here. You can see it goes pretty quick. Here's the time off that I approved earlier. Okay, so that's all I need to key in for this employee for right now on this pay period. So I'm just simply going to save that. Okay, but what if I know the next pay period the employee is also going to have some time off associated with the COVID-19? I could go ahead and enter that into the next pay period also. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and save this, and we'll move on to the next employee. Okay, as you can tell, this employee already has COVID-19 on their timesheet, but maybe I needed to go ahead and key in some additional because maybe they did take off the first due to the COVID. So you can go back and enter this time on previous days. However, keep in mind the law does state that the April 1st is the first day that you can legally use these codes for you to be reimbursed. So we're going to go ahead and key this time in. And this is the care of spouse. This particular time off is paying the employee 2/3 of their rate. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just key this into the timesheet. And again, I'm going to put in the 8 hours for this particular employee. Notice I'm getting a pop-up. This is telling me that, hey, I'm trying to key in too many hours. Beyond Pay is also building these rules for you to prevent an employee from going into the negative based on their accrual balances. We've built the accrual balances to follow the rules of the law. So keep that in mind. If you do get this message, that means that you have keyed in too much time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take that off because that is not, I can't actually key those hours in. Now, if I just came out of the timesheet, it would also not save that. So we'll just save. Notice it's also, so the system is going to prevent me from making mistakes here as far as entering more time than the employee is eligible for. One of the things that the system will not do is, if the employee is part-time, you will need to know what their standard workday is. So if the employee is working on a standard basis less than 8 hours, you as a company administrator would need to make sure that you key in what their standard workday is. Okay, so we'll go to the next timesheet, and I'm not going to save that. Okay, so this employee's timesheet looks slightly different. You can see that they're punching in and punching out for lunch. I could simply, come into the system, add a plus sign here, and then again, I'm going to go ahead and add the time off, and it's super simple to add, as you can tell. Okay. All right, I want to show you one other area of the system that you can always look at if you're questioning whether an employee is getting the proper rate or not. So I just want to change this particular time off to self-care so that you have the ability to see. Let's see, okay, that employee is using more than they should. So I'll just take this one out. Okay, so back to the counters. I'm going to go to the counters tab. Let me go to Michael actually. Okay, so here's Michael, and you can see that Michael is getting his regular $16 an hour for these 8 hours for self-care. Okay, what will happen if I change that? I want to show you what that looks like. Notice now the employee is getting the correct calculation of pay here. Okay, this is the 2/3 of the rate for the care of the spouse, child, or parent. Okay, so all of those rules Beyond Pay is building for you to make it easier for you. Okay, so that concludes what I wanted to review with you today. There's going to be additional recordings for how this will affect payroll, as well as how you can enter this time for an employee directly into payroll if you're not using timesheets. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Stay safe and let us know if we can do anything to help you. Have a great day.